Welcome back to Crafty Ladybug, and we're working on the Ursula tutorial. We're going to be doing her arms, and for her arms we're going to be using purple bands. Let's begin by taking 3 bands and placing it on the upper left peg. 3 bands going from the left to the center at a diagonal. 3 bands coming down, and then we're going to switch to 2 bands, 2 bands, and 2 bands. Let me just double check and make sure I need 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 2 bands. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 2 bands. And then right here I'm going to do a 3-time cap band. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's a 3-time cap band right there. And you just want to reach in, and we want to loom forward and just loom her arm forward and loom forward, and we've reached the 3, so we want to come forward. And then we want to reach into that and get the top 3 over to the right, and top 3 straight forward. Okay, and that's going to form Ursula's arm. And to get that off the loom, you just want to secure it with a toothpick or another extra hook if you have an extra hook. But this is going to be one of Ursula's arms, and we just need to make a second one. So that's going to be 3 bands, 3 bands left to center, 3 bands coming down, and we switch to 2 bands, 2 bands, 2 bands, and 2 bands again, and then 1 band wrap 3 times around. 1, 2, 3. And you want to reach into that cap band and come forward and forward and forward, forward, and reach our 3, and then reach in there and get your top 3 bands, over to the right and straight forward. And then we just need to get off this arm also. So I'm just taking an extra hook that I have and I'm sliding it in there and just taking off my arm. And here we have Ursula's arms, 2 arms, and we will be saving those for a later time in our project. So there's your 2 arms for Ursula. Hi, and welcome back. This is Ursula part 3. For this particular video, we're going to be doing Ursula's hair, face, arms, chest, and attaching our bottom body. The supplies you will need for this portion is 1 loom set up in a standard or straight configuration, pegs all being straight in a line, pointing towards your body. For this tutorial, we're going to be using purple rubber bands, black rubber bands, white, 1 red, and 1 gold. And you will also be needing 2 pony beads. These are mini pony beads, or you can also use black seed beads, whatever you want to use and do for your eyes. If you need to know how to thread them onto a band, I have another tutorial, a tip tutorial on my channel that tells you how to do that. So these need to be done before you begin the project. So let's begin our Ursula today. We're going to start off with the head, and we're going to make sure that she's got hair in the back. And to begin, we're going to be placing a single rubber band on the center peg, 2 to 3. That's going to become our securing band at the end. Down the center band or center row again, we're taking 2 bands. And these are white, so I know it's a little difficult to see. So that was 2 bands. We need to come from the left to the center with 2 bands to form a diagonal. Right to center with 2 bands to form another diagonal. And 2 bands in the center. And we need to come down with a set of 2 bands. Coming straight across the loom, 2 bands. 2 bands. And another set of 2 bands. 2 bands. 2. One more set of 2 bands. 2 bands. 2 bands. And then we're going to do a diagonal towards the center. A diagonal from center to right. And 2 bands in the center. Now this is going to be the back portion of Ursula's hair. What we're going to do is to loom a part of it, and then we're going to lay another layer to complete her face and other areas. Before we do that, we need to take on this last band here where that diagonal ends. We need to take a single band and wrap it twice around there as a cat band. We need to place a horizontal here, and we need to place a horizontal here, and another horizontal here. And at the top we're taking a single band, double twisting it, and placing that across the top where our diagonals start, or our diagonals start at the top. So now we're going to loom. Reach into our cat band, grab your 2 top bands, which are going towards the center. Reach in again, the 2 bands going off to the right. And again, 2 bands going off to the left. And now I'm just going to work my left side. And I'm going to go up 1, 2 times. And we're going to stop right there. For the center, I'm going to come up 2 times also. 1 time, 2 times. And I'm stopping right there in the center. Be sure to push those down. On the right side, 1 loom, 2 looms. I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so we're stopping right there. The next thing we want to do is to switch to using purple. We're going to take 2 purple bands and lay on top of what we just loomed. So you're going to actually be laying on peg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, peg 6 to 7, and you're going to lay 2 bands across, 2 more bands across, and we're going to do that again here on the bottom. The next set of pegs, we're laying 2 bands, 2 bands, 2 bands, and then we're going to make Ursula's chin, and that's going to be 2 diagonal bands. And if you'll notice, they got laid directly on top of these other bands, and I pulled those 2 diagonal bands off because I did make a small little error right there. We want to do the 2 bands in the center first. Do those 2 bands in the center. And I want you to take your hook, and I want you to take the white bands that are underneath those 2 purple ones. I want you to lift it up over the peg and on top of those 2 purple bands that we just laid. This is going to be what secures her hair down in the back of her neck. Then we'll take our 2 bands again to form our diagonal. Left, 2 bands diagonal right. Now we're going to do her chest area. And because Ursula is slightly thicker in the cheek area, the chin and cheek area, I have not given her a neck. So this is going to be a little different than the other action figures I do. And we're going to go from left to center on a diagonal, right to center on a diagonal, and come down the center with 2. All those were 2 bands. Now I need to come with 2 purple, 2 purple. Oops. Get those out of there. Let's put that one again. 2 purple, 2 purple. In the center here, I need 2 purple. This is going to be her breast area, kind of cleavage area there that she has in the videos. So 2 purple, 2 black on the left, 2 black on the right. Push those down some, and then we're going to do 2 black on the bottom, 2 black in the center, 2 black on the right. Now we need to place our horizontal bands, and for our horizontal bands we are going to be using purple for our eyes. So you need to thread your beads onto purple, and I should have already had mine done, and my apologies, I did not, but these are mini pony beads that I'm using, so I can just push that through there and push that one through there. If you're using another type of beads, you'll have to thread those on using the bead threading tutorial. So for her eyes, we're placing those on the very first set of purple that we have here. And you want to do 1 band above, and then you want to take the other band and pull it down lower. And this is just going to make sure that it gets secured when we go to do the looming area of it. So it kind of looks like sort of a Y or a V. So you've got the upper band above the peg and the lower portion of the band down to the next peg. And then we need to place another purple band in the cheek area, another purple band. Here we're down here to the chest area, and we're going to do a purple. And we have another chest area piece, and we're going to do a purple. And then we're here to the black, so we're doing a black. And at the very bottom we want to do a black. Okay, so now we've got Ursula's hair done, her face is laid out, her chest area is laid out, and the bottom portion of her chest is laid out also. Okay. Sorry for that slight interruption and pause, but we're back to Ursula, where we need to place her arms on her body. And for this, you're going to take your arms that you've created, and we're going to be placing one portion at the upper peg here, and one portion from where the purple and the black connect. So you want to take your one side off your hook, that set of 3 bands, and we want to, I like to use my hook, so I'm just sticking it back in there. I'm going to be placing a set of what works out to be 6 bands at the top, and then this is the other side, which is going to go down to the bottom. Next peg down on the bottom, and I missed one loop on her upper portion, so just be careful that you've got all your loops on and they're in the correct area. So here we've got the what works out to be 6 bands going on this peg and 6 bands going on that peg, and that's going to form Ursula's arms. And we need to do the same thing on the opposite side. by taking our 6 pegs, 6 bands, and sliding it over that bottom peg. And then I've got my 6 bands still on the hook for the top, and slide that over. And there we go. We've made sure that all of our arms, our pegs and bands are all hooked up together for our arms. Now we are ready to place our bottom torso onto our loom. And for this procedure, we're going to be taking the back 3. We're doing more layering here. You're going to take your back 3 clips, your S clip or C clips that you had to secure those single bands, and we're going to be placing on the back half, stretch out our C clip and our band over the peg, coordinating peg on the left, and take out your C clip, and this set here in the center, you just want to match up the back 3 with those pegs there. And take out your C clips as you're working after you get them on the loom, and then the back 3rd going right there. So all of your bands on those back 3 are on top of this bottom row of pegs. And we've got 3 up front here that we're going to do on another layer. Before we do that, excuse me, before we do that, we have to take 1 piece of the second side. So just take off 1 hook off that second side, 1 band, and place it over your left peg. And your S clip will be securing the other side that we'll do in just a moment. On this other side where you have your clip, you want to do the same thing. Just slide off 1/2 of that band and place it over your right peg. So we still have a portion of the band here sticking out with our S clips. And then we have the 3 that we'll be doing for the front half. Now that we have that complete, we want to reach in beyond all this stuff, and we want to grab the bottom 2 black bands. And you want to push beyond all your horizontal bands and everything. Grab your bottom 2 bands and loom forward once. Reach into the center, grab your bottom 2 and loom forward once. Reach into all that mess in the horizontal bands, get your bottom 2 bands and loom forward once. Okay, now that we have that done, we need to lay another set of 2 bands right across here. So we're going to be taking 2 black bands, 2 black bands, and 2 black bands. Now we need to start the procedure over again, much as we did the bottom half. We're going to be taking our S clip from that single band and we're going to lay it down first. And we're going to take our S clip over here on the right side and lay that band over there, secure it in. And then we have our 3 pieces for the front, and you'll see that they're going to line right up right there. So taking our S clips off after you put them around the loop, around the loom, or your C clips. I prefer to use the S clips just because my fingers are so fat and it gives me a little bit more area to work with. There we go. And last but not least, there we go. Okay, and now we are ready to loom the second portion of Ursula. So you want to reach beyond and you want to grab the 2 bands that you laid, and you don't want to reach underneath of them. You just want to grab those top 2. In the center center one's a little tricky. You might have to pull back some pieces to reach them and get to that. It's a little harder to see. And reach into the left and get your top 2 bands. And I grabbed something wrong. I could feel it when I grabbed it. So I'm just going to pull back some mess. Get my top 2 bands. There they are. And loom forward once. Okay. And that's attaching our lower torso to our Ursula. Now the next thing that we want to do is to loom our left black piece here up to where the arm meets. And we want to stop there for a moment, and then we want to reach over to our black on the right and do the right side. And the reason for that is because I need to reach into the center section, grab one purple is going to go over to the right, and this just gives it a little bit more color in the chest area. And then reach into the center again, grab your other purple that's down there, and it's going to go off to the left. So here we have a nice kind of V, different shaped V area there. And we're going to be okay. Everything's going to be secured in with our next steps. So, and we want to reach on the left side. We want to reach through all that mess, all that arm, your black pegs. You want to grab the bottom 2 purple and come forward once. Top portion of the arm, shoulder area, reach in, grab your bottom 2 purple over to the center. We want to do the same thing on the right side. Reach in, grab the bottom 2, come straight forward. Top portion of the corner over to the center, and then we need to come back here to this peg right there, and we need to get those 2 bands that are down under there to keep the whole thing connected. If you miss those 2 bands, you're going to fall apart. The whole thing will fall apart. And then 2 bands up to the chin area. Now we're going to work on the chin, so you need to reach in beyond all the bands that you just crisscrossed over, and there's a lot of bands here. You want to get your 2 bands that go to the right for the cheek. Reach in again. Grab your 2 bands that go to the left. And as I said, there's a lot on these bands, so you need to be very careful that you're grabbing the correct bands. 2 bands to the left. Reach down through there, your 2 center bands, and come straight forward. And the next one is going to be your 2 purple bands. Don't grab the white underneath, you just want to take the 2 purple up on your left. Reach in your 2 purple in the center. Don't reach in and grab the whites. I just did. You just want the 2 purples to the center. And then here we've got on the right your 2 purples up to the right. Okay, and we are going to stop right here for just one moment, and I need to add in 2 more white pieces. This is going to be a little different, and this is what's going to help secure our hair to the back of our loom, the hair in the back to the front. You want to take your hook, and on the left where you just finished that loop, you want to reach in through those pieces, and you want to grab the 2 loops here, and you also want to grab the 2 white loops at the bottom. So you're actually going to have 4, what looks like 4 white and what looks like 4 purple bands. You want to take a single white and pull up through those. Reclaim it back on your hook, and then you want to take this and move it to that forward peg. And this is going to help secure our hair onto that piece. So we need to do the same thing on the right side, and I'm just going to turn my loom so you can see. I'm grabbing 2 purple and the 2 white bands. So you actually have what looks like 4 white and 4 purple. Sorry about my arm there. And you're going to pull up through a white and secure it off. And then move it up to that forward peg. And that's going to secure the back of our hair onto the front part of our face. Now we can finish looming. Reach into here where we have our purple. You want to grab the 2 purple. Push back your cap band. Don't grab your white bands underneath. 2 purple forward. The center, 2 purple forward. And the right, reach beyond our cap band. And 2 purple forward. And then we can do our left. You're going to reach in there and we're getting the bottom 2 white that we laid so long ago. So you want to push back everything and grab your bottom 2 white. And you want to come straight forward. We're going to reach into the center, getting your 2 white that we laid a while ago. Forward. On the left, on the right, I'm sorry. Reach back and you want to grab just your 2 white that are on the bottom and come forward. Now we can finish off the left diagonal to the center and a right diagonal to the center, and then our center 2 directly forward. Then I've got one more set of 2 bands here. Come straight forward. Next I've reached the single band and you want to come forward with that. And that's going to be our band that we use to slip knot and secure our whole piece together. And now we're ready for the moment of truth. We're going to be taking Ursula off the loom, crossing our fingers that she worked, and just peel her off the loom. I like to use my hook because there's so much stuff to it. There's so much tension in different areas, and you don't want to break any bands. And some of them, like these down here at the bottom, have a lot of tension and a lot of rubber bands on them. So I just like to use my hook to pull them off. Okay, so here we go. We have got Ursula, and with a little bit of fiddling and pulling and a couple other different things that we need to do. I just like to reach in here to this part of Ursula and just grab some of these bands and pull them forward a little bit in her chest area. There we go, just pull that out a little bit there at the chest area and her arms. And here we have her hair. You can hide the band there, and you can play with this and get the white bands out to cover up the purple. With just a little bit of fiddling, you can get that purple covered up and hidden by using those white bands. And just peel that back a little bit. Now her face looks a little weird at the moment because we don't have her lips on her. And we're going to start off here at the bottom, and then I'm going to work my way up here to the top. And actually I forgot to put a horizontal band in here, but we're going to be okay. She stayed together. So on the bottom, take 2 rubber bands, 2 black rubber bands, and you want to pull all your tentacles through those 2 black rubber bands. And you want to stop it right here at the top of the legs, and that's going to cinch your leg area in. And you can puff out your legs and make them flare out just by doing that. We can do the similar type of thing at the waist area if you wanted her waist to be more defined. Take 2 bands and place that over the waist area. and that'll cinch in her waist a little bit more. And don't forget, we need to hide our securing band. In order to get the white portion of her eye, I took just a little bit of acrylic paint and I did a little white dab right there and then a black Sharpie on top of it. Her necklace, I'm going to show you how to make her necklace next. It is really complicated. After we've did this, the necklace is the hardest part. You want to take a single gold band, wrap it around your hook 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I lied, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to take a single black band and pull that over onto your hook. And we want to just secure it like so and slip knot it over and pull the slip knot tighter. And there we have Ursula's necklace. So you can slide that over her head. Told you the necklace was the hardest part. Slide that over her head. And there's her necklace. Stretch out the band a little bit so it hangs a little better. And look, it really does want to not cooperate with me today. So it actually might be the hardest part of Ursula today. But that kind of looks like her little shell necklace that she wears in the movie. And for the lip area, I just take a single red band and I'm going to cut it and reach in up underneath her hair. Just pull through a portion of that to the back. Oops. And then reach in on the other side and just pull a portion of that red band through the back. And you can actually tie it to secure it or just tuck it up underneath the hair to hide it. That's all I do, is just tuck it up underneath the hair to hide it, because my action figures don't actually get played with. And as I said, with a little bit of fiddling, just keep fiddling with her, get her eyes where you want them to be, move her hair out where it wants to be. If you need to tug on a couple little rubber bands, just give them a little tug and tuck wherever you need to tug and tuck, just to get her looking the way that you want her to look. But there is our Ursula tutorial. I hope you guys have enjoyed her, and if you have any questions, just let me know through the comment section and I'll try to do my best to answer them for you. Please post a picture of your creations on my Facebook page, Crafty Ladybug - Rainbow Loom Creations, or simply hit the link at the top of the channel area here. It'll take you right to my Facebook page, and post your pictures of Ursula there for me. Thanks so much.